Hi folks, welcome back, and it's pretty hard to do these videos. It's pretty hard to do these videos, you know. It's quite funny. I've been doing big data now for the last 2-3 years. In-memory database, so coherence, grid gain I've been doing for the last couple of years. In fact, coherence I've been looking at or playing with and supporting that in enterprises. NoSQL, we built many PLCs. That's proof of concept, by the way. We built many PLCs on Cassandra. So we worked closely with the DataStack guys, with the Mongo. We worked very closely with the Mongo guys. On Couchbase, we worked very closely with the Couchbase guys. What did we look at? React was the system we looked at. Why did we drop them? Can't remember why we dropped them. I think because they didn't have... You couldn't do deletes on the whole entire data set. You can do individual deletes, but you couldn't do deletes on the entire data set. That may have changed now. So given all of those technologies I played with, so in-memory database, big data, so the Hadoop ecosystem, so I obviously played heavily with Cloudera, and Hortonworks I really do like. I mentioned in-memory databases and NoSQL. So despite playing with all of that, this video editing stuff is hard. To hold a camera, to remember your lines, it's really funny. I could have heavy conversations. I could have meetings with professionals and talk about NoSQL, in-memory databases and big data all day long. But when it comes to talking on camera, it is really hard. You know, to remember your lines, and then the editing is an absolute nightmare. But you know what? Very enjoyable. I love this. I really love this. You know, I see this as a secondary. It's a passion. It's a passion project. Okay. I love technology. I love IT, and I kind of love teaching. And I like to if you like, dump my knowledge, what is here, onto some sort of medium for myself to look back. So when I'm 70 and I'm kind of forgetting all about this stuff, and I can look back at these videos and remind myself in terms of my thought process. That's number one. But you know what? If other people can actually benefit from all these videos, absolutely fantastic. Oh man, there's lawnmower outside. Again, I think for transactional type workloads, stick with the database. For operational type workloads, and I remember mentioning the word operational, but we didn't give you a couple of ideas. Well, not ideas, but in terms of what type of operational things you can do against a store. So one would be auditing, for example. One would be recommendation systems. Okay, so if you look at Amazon, you purchase a particular good, and suddenly you have all these recommendations for other types of goods that you can purchase. Now, you don't want that processing done on your main database where the transactions, the buy-sell transactions are occurring. You kind of want that processing done on a completely different system. Okay, so that's recommendation systems. You have, what else is there? You have search. Yeah, so obviously Google's one of them. Yahoo's another. Okay, so if you actually want to implement your own search type system within your organization, search is one. I'm just looking at the board here. Customer analytics. So customer analytics is one. Here you now have, well, Amazon's a great one, right? You got a whole suite. You know, you have a lot of customers in your system, and you really want to generate a report on one customer. So I got bitten by that. But eBay, because while building this lab on mine, they obviously saw my buying pattern and started recommending me different types of servers, different types of network switches, different types of memory that I could not resist buying. These particular blades that I bought, so this one here is our AMD blades. Here we have Intel blades, and I'm not suggesting for you guys to purchase this stuff, but here's my blade collection, and they all look the same, but they're not. They have various different form factors. Some of them are G1. These are HP blades, by the way. So some of these are G1s, some of these are G5, some of these are G6s, some of these are G7s, and some of these are G8s. Okay, so there's my HP collection of blades. I have the half height blades here, and at the bottom you can see the double height. I have the full height blades that sits in a HP chassis, and here's a couple of the half height blades. So this is a storage blade that you see here. These are expansion blades here. Here we have a G8 blade, which is AMD. No, actually, that's not G8. That's a storage blade. So that's a storage blade. And here we have G8 blades above. So if I show you here and up here, we have, so these are G8 blades. So these are Intel G8 blades, and this one's an AMD G8 blade. So again, the model I was showing you before, that could be used actually for transactions, right? So if you find that one database is not powerful enough, but we're talking transactions, then yes, you can scale the database out using a cluster like this and still preserve your transactions. But one thing I would say also is that, look, you may have, if you need to scale your database that much, you may just be sitting on or holding on to a lot of historical data. So one of the things you could do is to copy that data, copy the historical data out of your transactional database into an operational data store. Okay, so that operational data store you can utilize just to store your historical data. Yeah, so you can store 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 years of data, or if it's for audit type of regulation. Okay, use that. So use your regular online transactional database for your buying and selling pattern. You may tune that to only hold, let's say, 6 months to a year's worth of data, but utilize an operational data store to copy or scoop, as a keyword there, remember that keyword, scoop data out of your database, maybe once a month or once every 2 weeks. Okay, the historical data, scoop it out of your online transactional database into an operational data store. Yeah, or data cache if you actually want it in memory and you wanted to have really fast read and writes to that operational data cache. Think of these videos. If you like it, give me a thumb up. If you don't like it, certainly let me know and how I can improve it. I'm pretty new to this editing stuff. I'm pretty new to the video world. Something I really enjoy doing, to be honest. Again, my background is purely, data engineer or HPC engineer in my previous role. So, I love building infrastructure. So the whole Hadoop, the whole in-memory database, the whole NoSQL ecosystem, it's stuff I love doing, and I love teaching people in terms of how this stuff works and my thought process, because I think it really helps to validate what I'm thinking. So if I tell you what I think, then obviously there's professionals out there that may reply and say, well, what an absolute pile of garbage, but I would like to know why the way I have digested the information is a pile of garbage. And if it's not a pile of garbage, I will tell them that, no, you're speaking a pile of garbage. So, so you get that back and forth. But it's good to reinforce your ideas. And also it's good to get a different point of view on the same subject matter. Because, if you can read one article on big data, you read another article, and you get different perspectives in terms of how they're used in the industry and how they're seen. So for me, that type of viewing things from a different angle, different, you hit it at different angles, I think is really useful. So this is my viewpoint on one way of try to scale out a system if you want to avoid the big data, the NoSQL, the in-memory database type systems. But depending on how much data long term you think you may store, you may find that you're going to reach a bottleneck at some point. That as you start to scale even more, you're really getting very little in return, and you would have spent a lot of money and on infrastructure where you're sizing it for the near term, but long term it's not going to work out for you. So yeah, anyway, take care. Yeah, so let me know what you think. I really enjoyed doing this video, and please subscribe, and yeah, let me know what you think. Take care. Bye bye.